is there any hope left for crypto in 2025? Well, TLDR of my opinion, yes, of course there is. And I want to share some very concrete reasons with you why I believe the best days of this market are still ahead of it. Crypto's not going anywhere, guys. And look, I know it's been a crazy few weeks in the market. Every Friday, we seem to get some new earth-shattering news that wrecks markets, especially over the low liquidity weekends. We've had all kinds of bullshit and drama, big sell-offs, big hacks, and there might be some more BS before things get better, okay? Keep that in mind. Horrible crashes are just part of the game. If you can't deal with volatility in crypto, you should probably just go invest in bonds in the S&P 500. We come to this game for the volatility. Everybody loves the upside volatility, but nobody likes the downside volatility. Look, low time preference investors will do very well in this market. Traders will do very well in this market. People that just play trends and narratives, get in early, get the heck out, take your money and run. The overnight get rich quick crowd, you're going to get wrecked again and again and again. And look, there are macro problems, micro crypto problems that can derail the market. If unemployment starts surging up, that's going to be a problem. And there's probably some unemployment coming because of what Donald Trump and Elon Musk are doing. The question is, can the private sector fulfill any of those jobs? Inflation. This is a big one. If inflation starts moving up in any kind of significant way, and there's thoughts that, okay, the tariffs could spike inflation, at least short term. A lot of the big banks are still thinking that we are going to see inflation much lower by the end of the year, but that doesn't mean we don't have an initial inflation spike, and the banks are wrong about plenty of stuff, plenty of times. So inflation could be a problem coming back that wrecks everything for crypto, because crypto is wildly responsive to the macro scene. Okay, plus stock markets are wildly overvalued. AI's in a bubble, but that bubble can get bigger. Stock markets can be more overvalued. A recession probably comes at some point. Maybe Donald Trump's policies cause a recession. A lot of things out there that could derail everything. So you have to understand that. As a cryptocurrency investor, our fate is largely wedded to what happens in the outside world. Okay? And there will always be narratives that outperform. And people might say, oh, there's no big narrative for crypto right now. I would disagree. I think there's some huge narratives. About to share those in just a second. But there will be certain narratives that outperform specific sectors that will outperform in crypto on a regular basis. Everything mega pumping all at once, maybe that doesn't even need to happen anymore. Maybe you can just find the narratives, take the profits, run away, okay? So, a lot of big things coming. At first, I'd like to talk about the Sovereign Wealth Fund. So, the United States is launching a Sovereign Wealth Fund that was announced about a month ago, so it means we've got about 2 months to go until the Treasury Secretary, I think they got Howard Lutnick on as well, until those guys have to come out with the, by the way, both big Bitcoin bulls, until both these guys come together with a plan for the Sovereign Wealth Fund for the United States. Now, there's no guarantees that the Sovereign Wealth Fund is going to be buying crypto, okay? But they could be. They could be. It's not that they will have some kind of prohibition on that necessarily. So we're going to see what that looks like, how much money goes into that, what assets they start buying. Obviously, it's going to be a big mix of different U.S. companies, of course, but which basically provides infinite bid, by the way, for U.S. stock markets. Crazy, right? They could have crypto in there as well. They could have a basket of crypto ETFs, which will be, of course, a small part of that total sovereign wealth fund. But the launch of the sovereign wealth fund of itself will push stock markets higher over the long term, okay? If that's the case, that creates more wealth effect, more people have money, more people buy dog coins, and hopefully Bitcoin as well. Then, very specific to crypto, we have the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. It's coming, guys, it's coming. Look, the United States doesn't even need to buy Bitcoin, they just need to keep the Bitcoin that they have right now, but they might buy Bitcoin. Maybe as part of the Sovereign Wealth Fund, maybe as just part of the Treasury holdings. Maybe they sell a little bit of gold to buy some Bitcoin. There's a lot of big things going on behind the scene here, and Bitcoin is going to be part of that in some way. A lot of crypto money got behind Donald Trump in the election, and they're going to want something back for their investment. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve is probably going to be part of that, and they've got a lot already. We got a positive SEC head, OCC head, CFTC head, Treasury Secretary, Commerce, everyone in the administration is like mega bullish on crypto. Then, of course, we have altcoin ETFs. Now, this is going to be potentially very big, assuming that we see any inflows. Now, the Ethereum ETF was okay, right? Bitcoin ETFs have had about $40 billion total of inflows. There's been some big outflows recently, but Ethereum ETFs have been much slower. There's been a lot less demand for them, but that doesn't mean there's going to be the same lack of demand for some of these altcoin ETFs. Solana, XRP, Dogecoin, and Litecoin currently are the first four that are most likely to get ETFs. Of course, we've been talking about the Litecoin ETF trade thesis here on the channel for a little bit. I still think that trade thesis is very, very valid. A lot of the other ones have great potential as well. We're seeing stuff like Polkadot and HBAR and others also get ETF applications. So we're going to see probably a dozen altcoin ETFs by the end of the year, which allows for billions of dollars of institutional and retail money to come into certain ETF sectors. Okay, so this is a very big liquidity event because if you see Solana and XRP and Litecoin and Dogecoin get $20 billion or $15 billion between all four of them in inflows by the end of the year, that has a dramatic impact on the price of these assets. And when those assets go up, some of the biggest assets in the cryptocurrency market, we get bid across the board because people who just made life-changing money on XRP or Litecoin are going to take their money and then gamble it back down because that's what usually happens. People just keep gambling, right? It creates a wealth effect in the cryptocurrency market, which splashes over into other things. Now, before we get on to the next one, I've got a crazy deal for you. So look, I know a lot of you guys are trading these markets, and there's always money to be made in the markets. When the markets are going up, there's money to be made by longing. When the markets are dropping, there's money to be made by shorting. And you can do both of those things over on Femex. It's an OG cryptocurrency exchange. They got all the hot altcoins. They have deep liquidity, and they have a crazy deal going on for you right now. By the way, Femex is available for everyone, everywhere. Okay, so check it out using the link down below. They're going to give you $50 when signing up using that link, which is crazy. Straight off the bat, $50, boom, to try out the exchange, see what they have to offer you. If you deposit $1,000, you get $200 back. You deposit $2,000, you get $400 back. 20% deposit bonus, pretty damn awesome. And you get up to $1,000 in trading bonuses. Go check it out. There's a link right down below if you want to score your free $50 and have a nice place where you can long and short the crypto markets. Go check it out. Okay. Continuing. The M2 money supply.
Lark's talking about the M2 money supply again. Stop beating the dead horse, man.
And I know. I'm gonna beat the shit out of that dead horse, man. You're not gonna stop me from just gonna keep beating that dead horse till it's all just, my shoes are all messy anyway. Guys, there's a very, very, very strong correlation between the price of Bitcoin and the M2 money supply. It's hard to ignore, okay? It's got a lag. Bitcoin tends to lag about 6 weeks behind it or so. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, but there's an approximate lag time. Right now, the M2 supply is going back up. Now, we had an M2 money supply local top back in December. Prices have corrected over 2 months on approximate 6 to 8 week lag. Now, the M2 supply has been pumping again recently, meaning that in the next few weeks, if we can see the correlation continue and macro doesn't just totally melt to shit, then we should see, in theory, the price of Bitcoin going up. When the price of Bitcoin goes up, the price of everything follows it up. M2, it's looking good, and it's scheduled, or let's say scheduled, it is predicted to increase throughout 2025, perhaps as far as into 2026. 4-year cycle, baby. The dollar index. Speaking of global money supply, the dollar index, a very, very important indicator for risk assets. It has been falling off a cliff recently. The weaker the dollar becomes, the less some of these tariff problems and stuff become. And a lower dollar, when the dollar index is on the weaker side, tends to be good for risk assets. Now, we've had a rally in spite of a strong dollar, but if we have a weaker dollar, it adds even more fuel to the fire for risk assets, aka crypto coins, to do well in 2025. Then we have a new SEC head, not confirmed yet, but likely to be soon. The new SEC and the takeover of the SEC by people like Hester Pierce, who has been at the SEC for a long time. She's super pro-crypto. She's been always a dissenting voice against the Gary Gensler regime at the SEC that sued everybody. Well, guess what? The SEC is now dropping all of their cases against crypto companies. They're dropping the Coinbase case. They're dropping the OpenSea case. They're dropping the Uniswap case. We haven't got the Ripple Labs case dropped yet. I would assume that should come in the next few days. Basically, lawfare against crypto companies in the USA is over, and this is a really positive thing. This is basically saying we have a new regime now in the United States. A new SEC is here. An SEC is not going to crush an industry, but actually help an industry. Pretty cool. This is a big, big deal. Then we got this crazy news the other day in the midst of the hack and the market crash and all that shit. So it kind of fell a bit under the radar, but this is wildly big. CITADEL, one of the biggest hedge funds in the world. They are going to start market making in crypto. Now, make no mistake, Citadel is not your friend. Citadel is not here to help you out. They will pump the markets. They will dump the markets. It's what market makers do. But the fact is, we have a major institutional Wall Street player, one of the biggest institutional Wall Street players coming to do market making in the cryptocurrency industry, man. It's going to be big. It's going to bring in billions of dollars of new market making liquidity. And of course, they are preparing for the big game as the markets continue to get bigger. Now, I don't think Citadel is going to come in and start market making in crypto if they think it's going to be down only in an absolute shit show bear market for years to come. No, Citadel's coming in because they see the money to be made. They understand the market dynamics. They understand the big picture, what's going on here, and they're going to make money. It's actually kind of crazy. Institutions, big banks, all this, everyone very bullish on the future of crypto, except like retail right now, because a lot of people have had their asses kicked recently, and that's fair enough. But don't lose sight of the forest from the trees here, guys. And of course, the fundamentals of crypto have literally never been better than they are today, and they just keep getting better every single day. We have all kinds of crazy stuff going on. We have shardines for Aptos, just taking it to 1 million transactions per second, making it basically one of the absolute fastest blockchains on the planet. Right up there with Solana's Fire Dancer, but for a fraction of the price. By the way, I do own Aptos and some other cryptocurrencies that we mentioned here in today's video. If you want to see portfolio disclosures, as always, down below in the description. And investing in crypto is risky. You can lose all your money. Don't forget about it. Okay, so then we have the Petra upgrade coming for Ethereum. Finally, something happening on Ethereum. Now, it's not going to fix all of Ethereum main chain's problems, but it's a step in the right direction and a good upgrade. Solana's Fire Dancer, as mentioned, 1 million transactions per second. That's already shipping out to mainnet. We have the SEI blockchain, SEI blockchain, with their Giga upgrade, which takes them up to 250,000 transactions per second, making it the most scalable Ethereum virtual machine chain. Now, Ethereum virtual machine basically just means it can interoperate with all the other Ethereum chains like Avalanche or Layer 2s like Base, or the Ethereum mainnet itself has the same sort of logic. 250,000 transactions per second. That's beastly, again, for a very, very small market cap currently. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. There's a lot of good things happening in crypto. Does that mean everything's going to go up tomorrow? Of course not. Okay, these are wildly volatile markets. That's why you're here. You want the volatility to outperform for you. Sometimes you get crushed by the volatility. Sometimes you get lifted up by the volatility. But there are big things happening in crypto, and there's a lot of reasons to be excited about this market still. Thanks for watching.